On the last episode of Inside My Showroom, Chris was supposed to continue the video, but he fell asleep and left me hanging for 4 hours.
Oh my god. Guys, I have no idea what this guy is even talking about.
You know it's true, man. Last episode, we rounded things up, and I said I was gonna go have lunch, be back in 20 minutes, come back, guy wasn't there. 4 hours. 4 hours. It's past dinner now, man.
Oh my god. You know what, my bad guys. But I'm gonna blame that one on Omar because this guy, we was on a roll. We were doing good, but he has to mess it up. He has to mess up the flow. Oh, I gotta go eat lunch. My tummy's hurting.
Sorry, man, but food comes first. You know it, man. All right. So in our last episode of Inside My Showroom, we were just discussing that I was the featured collector.
For an hour, we were doing that. We were discussing that for 1 hour.
It went on for a very long time. In-depth review of my collection. So yeah, 1 hour video of being the featured collector on Sideshow. And we were just discussing, that was how 2017 started. So we just want to take you back a little bit to 2016, pieces that both me and Chris received. So these are Chris's pieces that he received in 2016. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, guys. So I received a couple pieces this year. 2016 was pretty big for me. 2017 is going to be even bigger year. But yeah, this is actually the first piece that I got in 2016. It's the Pop Culture Shock Lionel mixed media statue. One of my favorites. I found a guy on eBay that he was like kind of getting out of collecting, so I picked him up for a really good price, and I love him. I mean, he's a great statue. So
this is actually a piece that I would love to. I'm not really that much of a Thundercats fan, but I've watched it enough to appreciate it, and I would really love this piece, especially if they do Mumra.
Yeah, bro. PCS they did make a Mumra, by the way.
Oh, did they? I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, bro. And it actually looks awesome.
Oh my
But
goodness, where have I
yeah,
been?
dude. Oh my god, I don't know, dude. How do you not know they made a Mumra? But anyways, if we're talking about presence in the piece, dude, I'm telling you, you have to see Lion. No, number one, he's huge. Like he's quarter scale, but Lionel is just a big character. He's a really big statue. I think it's 32 inches tall, with the sword. But the presence that piece has, man, it's unbelievable.
You know what? I think I was just having a blonde moment for a second because I do actually remember seeing this Mumra.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I don't know. I guess it's not something you see on eBay often.
Yeah, it's true. Um, but yeah, this is the life-size He-Man bust. Again, I just want to give a big shout out to Pop Culture Shock, PCS, and all you guys out there that helped me win this because I actually got this for free, right in time for Christmas too. So that was a great way to end 2016 with one of the best Christmas gifts I've ever received. I actually won this in a contest that PCS was hosting on their Facebook page, and I'm just extremely, extremely grateful to all those that helped support me and help me win this piece because I actually owned in 2015 when my collecting first started. I picked up the matching Skeletor bust, the life-size Skeletor bust, and for me to get the companion piece to that statue for free, in a contest was just an awesome experience. This is a piece that I'll never sell. This is good memories. This reminds me what the hobby is really about: meeting new people. Just awesome things. Because I did meet a lot of different people. I talked to a lot of new people, and it just really shows you the kind of community that we're a part of. Because I kid you not, I messaged like 80 people, and 80 people went ahead and liked my entry for the contest. So it just, it speaks volumes for the community that we're part of. There's a bunch of great guys, including Omar. You know, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it. Awesome experience.
So, me and Chris are actually huge fans of Masters of the Universe. So, this is a great piece that he was lucky enough to get into his collection. Congratulations again, man.
Thanks, bro.
2016 went out with a bang for you.
It did.
Um, and 2017 started great for me being the featured collector. So, great end, good beginning, you know?
Absolutely. Okay, so this is a piece that I picked up in April, I believe. It was a pretty cool experience too. This was my first time. I actually purchased this Spider-Man comic kit from a guy that I met in the forums on statue forums, and he just so happened to live in New Jersey. I live about an hour away in New York, so we were talking for a couple days, and this was my first experience, doing picking up a piece through local pickup, and being able to meet another collector. It was awesome. We met up. It was about an hour drive. I forgot where exactly in Jersey we met up, but we basically met up at a movie theater, and the piece was perfect. I mean, even the shipping, the brown shipper box was mint. The art box was mint. The statue was mint. Aside from a little bit of dust, mint condition, and I was just so happy to pick this up. Um, at the time, I had my eyes on the XM Studios Daredevil, and I was so set on buying that.
Me
But
as
then
well, man. You
yeah,
and me
and then I
both.
got in touch with this guy in the forums, and I just couldn't pass up the opportunity, man. And I'm so happy that I actually have this piece. Omar, I wish you guys see this piece in person, bro.
One day,
Honestly.
man. And we were actually both purchasing the Spider-Man premium format,
Yeah,
but you
that's
decided to sell yours and grab this.
yep. So that's also another thing. I did end up selling a lot of pieces this year. I want to say almost 5 pieces, and I want to kind of say that uh it kind of shaped me as a collector. Having those experiences of having to sell the pieces that I did let go of, because the pieces that I end up selling were the Spider-Man premium format, the Batman Modern Age premium format, the original Joker premium format by Sideshow, and first four figures Dark Link statue. And let me tell you why those four statues, how it shaped me as a collector by selling them. Number one, the Spider-Man premium format, it made me realize that I'm more of a museum pose kind of guy. And now I know that to stay away from dynamic poses, it's not my cup of tea. And that piece kind of made me realize that. So I'm glad that I got it, and I'm glad that I sold it. I actually sold that to a local buyer here in New York. I went up to Brooklyn to go drop it off to him, and same thing with the Batman and Joker premium formats. Kind of made me just realize that I'm not a fan of mixed media. I prefer the fully sculpted statues. So just a real learning experience, that 2016 was for me. It helped shape me as a collector. Kind of define my real tastes in statues, and I feel like it was just a great experience, a great learning experience at that too.
I love the fact how you did like this basically collage for every single one of your photos, like your
Yeah, it's kind of
statues. I
like
mean,
yeah, it's a little trend I got going on. If you guys don't know about my page, you guys could follow me on Instagram. I try and upload as much as I can, but it's pretty much the standard format how I upload pictures. It's pretty much in this layout. You have the three boxed picture. You got the one large picture of the full statue, and then a couple close-ups of other parts of the body or the base, or whatever it may be on the sides. But so here we go talking about this. This is the Sideshow He-Man statue. Shout out to my mom, man. She actually bought this for me for my 21st birthday. So another piece that'll never leave my collection. Really happy I got it too, man. You know, people were receiving theirs, way earlier than me, and they had so much great feedback. There's also a piece that I watched Omar unbox, um, as well. I'm sorry, and I was so stoked to finally receive it because it really turned out great. It's really well done. The paint is just awesome, and Omar could contest to that. It's just an awesome piece. I think Sideshow really did their thing when they were making this He-Man.
It definitely is, you guys. It's a fantastic piece. I really like it a lot. I actually like it more than the Skeletor. I'm sorry, man. There's just this did it for me. Like it's
You have
He-Man.
every right to, bro. Honestly, He-Man is. If you guys have not seen it in person, man, and you're a Masters of the Universe fan, I'm telling you, do yourself a favor and pick it up. You know, if you're more into the cartoon filmation type look for those pop culture shock statues. But if you want like a nice modern, different approach to what He-Man and Skeletor should look like, this is literally perfect. I mean, Sideshow, the details in the armor, the paint quality is just superb, man. I'm so happy with this piece. Another piece that me and Omar both got this year, Sideshow Collectibles Skeletor statue to match that He-Man. Another great piece. Unlike Omar, I'm gonna take Skeletor over He-Man just because Skeletor kind of has a special place in my heart. He's definitely my favorite character, or at least my favorite villain of all time. And you know, there were a couple problems with this piece. I know a lot of people were giving Sideshow flack for the amount of PVC that was used, the amount of plastic, the kind of weak magnets that are on the hands, um, and I could definitely understand that. But all in all, I really think that it's a great looking statue. If you compare this to what Sideshow advertised on their website when it went up for pre-order, I really don't think that you could tell the difference. That's how good, the production pieces came out.
In
Sorry.
the end, that's what counts is the final pose of it. Like everything that I've complained about and I've heard people complain about as well, there are issues with regards to assembly, feel, that sort of thing. But when it's, displayed on a shelf or inside the glass cabinet, that's it. It's over. It's all about the looks at that point. And looks wise, it's 10 out of 10. There's no flaws with it whatsoever. I just want to state that both of these statues, the He-Man and the Skeletor one, I actually displayed it with the cape on it. I didn't know that we were going to be like discussing what we had in 2016, or I definitely would have taken the time to get like a lot more nicer photos. I actually just kind of went down there. I didn't want to do it, but Chris is like, no man, looking back, we're gonna have to like watch this video and that sort of thing. So my pictures are kind of crappy. I'll just go through them quickly. I have Miss Marvel here. That's a piece from 2016. Great, fantastic piece. Absolutely beautiful. We had done a video on it, but it didn't come out too well. So that's something that me and Chris need to revisit.
Yeah, for sure, guys. I actually watched Omar unbox this piece, and I kind of helped him set it up because some of the parts were a little bit tricky. But I mean, not being a fan of the character, man, that statue is nice. I'm telling you, like the quality overall, the paint, the lines, they're awesome, and it looks great. Great looking statue.
You're not a fan of the character, really, per se,
Yeah.
but you are a fan of Marvel versus Capcom, which
Yes.
we're going to be discussing later, and she plays a big, huge role in the new Marvel versus Capcom
I saw
game
that.
that's going to be coming out soon. So this
Yeah.
is just a bonus. Like, I love the character, but it's just another bonus having it in the collection, and this is kind of the costume she'll be wearing.
Absolutely. And just going back real quick to the He-Man and Skeletor statues, we have reviews and unboxings of those on our channel. So if you didn't check it out, make sure to check those out. Sorry.
No, that's okay. So 2016 was like, I don't know, man. I think there's just a lot of pieces that I got in 2016, and I'm just not remembering them all.
Yeah.
It's been a very busy year for me. I actually knew that I was moving, so with the little money that I did have left over after the move, I just kind of wanted to get as many pieces in my collection as possible. So I quickly just went and like took a minute video thinking that you would be back, Chris, but then you went to sleep, and this is kind of what I was left with. So I have Sandman here. That was 2016. I have Black Cat. Um,
Sandman is awesome.
yeah, it's a great piece. XM. I got Spider-Man premium format here. She-Hulk was
Nice.
a 2016, which I'm also just remembering
You
that
got
as I'm
She-Hulk in
speaking.
2016 too?
I did. I did. It
Oh
was it
wow.
was a buddy of ours on Facebook. Not gonna say his name or anything like that, but he's definitely well known. He'll know who he is if he sees the video.
Okay.
Galactus was 2016.
Wow.
This was definitely a piece that I was debating for a very long time, just because of the fact that I was aware that I was moving, and just the price ticket on him was really kind of high. So it was just difficult to kind of spend that kind of money knowing that I'm moving into a new home. But that was pretty much it. After that, I said no more.
Oh,
Um,
time out. Did you get Thanos too in 2016? Like some Thanos?
no, I think that was, even if I did get it in 2016, it might have been the beginning. It
Gotcha.
just seems like a very vague memory. It so long ago. So
I hear you.
Psylocke 2016, Gambit 2016, Colossus 2016.
Damn, yo.
Mystique 2016. That was actually the very first statue. Sorry, the very last statue that ended up showing up in the mail
Wow.
before my big move.
Got a lot of good pieces this year, bro. Or last year, I should say.
Yes. Kratos on throne. We got to do an unboxing on this.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that
This
we skipped that. I went through so much
you
work
know
getting
what?
this thing out of the box.
I think that it was at a time where we weren't even discussing, making YouTube videos. I think that's what it was. Because if we were making videos at the time, I think we definitely would have unboxed this on cam for them.
Yeah, and this was actually a statue that I was having second thoughts on. As stated in the last video, it's just, it was a very hefty price one for me, and I got slammed badly with customs for it. So I actually ordered it directly from Gaming Heads, and I knew that Gaming Heads would like slam me with customs from all the reviews that I was reading about them from international customers.
Yeah.
This is an art print. It means a lot to me. It's actually part of my Street Fighter collection, and limited to only 40 in the world, and I have an AP.
Wow. That's awesome. I know when you first got that, man, you couldn't stop. He was so excited, guys. He sounded like a little kid in a candy shop. How hyped up he was when he found out he was getting one.
Okay, so I actually took this picture because Oro was 2016. It was like what our last video we did in
Yeah.
2016.
Yep.
Okay, and now I'm also realizing Dalsum, Adon, and Sagat were all 2016 as well. Very busy year, man.
Wow. Jeez, man. That's what are we up to now? Like 10, 12 pieces now?
I don't know. I think I just went crazy. Okay, so we have Cammy as well. Sea
Wow.
Viper, Balrog, all 2016.
Wow. Really busy year for you, bro.
Okay, I don't even want to see this right now. I'm skipping through it.
We got a review coming for you guys on that new PCS Vegas statue, so stay
Yeah,
tuned
and
for
I'm
that,
trying
guys.
not to look at it as much as possible so I can have like honest, reviews, thoughts on it. So I'm just not looking at it right now. So this is Jury. This is 2016. It's a custom made, and PCS is actually releasing a new one, like an official one. So
Nice.
I actually bought a different color so that I can still keep this one.
Awesome, man.
And Rose as well, custom, Sakura and Ibuki and Goken. You know what
You
I
got
think it
all
is?
of those in 2016,
Yeah,
bro?
you know what it is, man. I actually parted with some of my pieces as well. I think I had like quite a bit of sales on things in 2016.
Right.
And my mission was just to go back and purchase all the Street Fighter collectibles that I had
I
missed out
remember
on.
that. I definitely remember that. It was at that point you were just going crazy with the Street Fighter, and that's around the time that you got that sick art print.
And I only had kind of like a couple pieces in my possession, so I'm kind of wondering here, like, why did I go crazy on in 2016? But it was just pretty much like I sold stuff that I'm no longer collecting, and I
Right.
actually used the money just to purchase like all the Street Fighter stuff.
Wow.
So now I'm heavily into Street Fighter, and of course, Chris. Okay, well, I got Gambit in Guile in 2016, and Ken EX. You know what this means to me, man. We have to
I
do
know.
a review on that as well. There's actually a special meaning of this statue to me, so we'll be discussing that definitely.
Absolutely. And if you guys haven't seen, I don't know which one we're gonna upload first, but we're definitely uploading Omar getting picked for the Collector of the Month by Sideshow. He has an insane Street Fighter collection. Like these are all close-up views, but if you were to just take a step back and see like the entire Street Fighter collection, it's nuts, guys. It's really nice. It's really nice.
So, Sorceress uh, was 2016. He-Man Blow and Skeletor, both me and Chris actually got that. Now, Sorceress, I actually emailed PCS when they were asking who's the next character that they should be making. And I said, listen, I don't care who you guys make, just make Sorceress. And I actually went to the point of like doing research, showing them on eBay what the Mattel Sorceress goes for, and that
Yes.
if it's hitting those kind of prices, imagine what a statue would come out with PCS Sorceress. So I don't know, man. I would like to take a little bit of credit, kind of like feeling that maybe I kind of twisted PCS's arm a little bit in making this, but
Yeah.
I think out of all the female characters, every single thing from DC, Marvel, Masters of the Universe, Sorceress is my favorite female character. I just have a soft spot for her. This is my childhood, man. I grew up with this, and I just think that she's the whole reason. Without her, there is no He-Man. There would be no like Power Sword, no nothing for him
Yeah,
to
man.
find, right? So I just love the fact how she was always so like majestic and elegant and graceful, and she's always like, He-Man, I need your help. Come to Grayskull. So this my favorite female character piece.
Nice.
Wasn't this 2016, Chris?
Oh, you know what? I did forget about that. I actually got this piece too for 2016.
Yeah. So this was a
So,
2016 piece for both me and Chris. I got the exclusive. He got the regular.
yeah.
No reason for the exclusive, by the way. So not missing out there, Chris. Like the EX head wouldn't post it with that anyways.
Yeah.
Man at Arms 2016, one of
Awesome piece.
PCS's last Master of the Universe pieces.
Yeah.
Tila as well. You said that you were
Nice.
gonna pick these up. Not sure if you're gonna be doing that anymore,
Nah,
but
bro. I'm not gonna collect any of the filmations.
okay. So we are just gonna go back now. How about we hit up your pre-orders and we save anticipated for last?
Yeah, sure. Okay, guys. So this is actually not a pre-order. This is in the mail right now, getting delivered to me. This is a custom statue commissioned by Danny Hines, sculpted by Eric Sosa. For those of you who don't know who that is, he's a pretty reputable sculptor in the community. He's worked for Kotobukiya, XM Studios. He has his own company called Prototypes Studios right now, and he's just an awesome sculptor, awesome artist. And this is the Marvel versus Capcom Cyclops statue. Marvel versus Capcom 2, by the way. And I'm so stoked to be getting this. Like I said, this year was a real learning experience for me in terms of finding out what I like, dynamic versus museum, and this is like the pure example of what I like in a statue. Museum pose, fully sculpted, nicely detailed, you know. And I'm really stoked for this piece. Right now it's held up in customs. It's coming from Canada. So, I'm hanging in there, man. I'm itching
That's
for this
why
guy to
I'm
come in.
sorry, man. I'm gonna have to contradict you and say that this is a pre-order until you have it in your damn hand, bro.
I'll go with that. But I'm
um,
really hyped up for this, man. I've seen a bunch of reviews. Shout out to Darth Chris DK on YouTube. Um, I must have watched his review and unboxing on this piece. Literally, I kid you not, probably like 10 or 11 times.
that's
Because
just
that's just
sick.
how, yeah, that's just how good it looks. Though I'm really hyped up for this, and I can't wait for it to come in.
So, I definitely would have loved to be collecting this side by side with you, Chris. My
Yeah,
collection is just based on like the premium formats and companion pieces and that sort of thing. But if I didn't have other pieces in my collection, I definitely would have loved the Marvel vs. Capcom line. But it's taken them too long to bring it out, so I gotta stick with what I have. But definitely an amazing piece that you have here. You know,
thanks, bro.
whichever way you decide to go with posing it, you can't go wrong. Everything looks fantastic about this piece.
Yeah, there's actually a lighter feature on this thing too, guys. And it's limited to only 65 pieces. That's one thing that I have to say really speaks to me about a piece. I do like the look of certain statues, but you know what I like as well? I like rarity. I like, having things that not a lot of other people have. And this piece, like I said, it's just a pure example of what I like to see in a collectible. Fully sculpted, museum, rare, you know. And I feel like it's just an important piece. I want to start up. This is one of the first pieces I'm gonna have in my Street Fighter or my I'm sorry, Marvel vs. Capcom line / X-Men, and Cyclops is just one of the most important characters. He's the leader of the X-Men, you know, of the squad. So I'm really happy to have picked this up, and I can't wait to get it.
All right, let's move along.
I was in Omar's homeland. I was in Omar's country when I pre-ordered this bad boy. This is the Prime One Studios, The Dark Knight Returns Batman, 1/3 scale statue. I was
I
lucky
would
enough to get
love
the
to tell you
exclusive.
guys the story on how this pre-order went, but I think I'm just gonna save it for when he has it in hand and he's unboxing, so I can tell you guys a really funny story about this.
Yeah, I guess. Actually, this is one of my most anticipated pieces that I have on pre-order. I'm really, really pumped up for this. There's a lot of hype around Prime One. A lot of people praise them for the quality, for the details. And when I saw this go for pre-order, it was like a one, two, three, boom. You know, there was no thinking involved. And I'm just so happy I was able to get my hands on an exclusive, and I'm really pumped up. For the price and the size. You get what, like three switch out hands, three switch out heads, and it's just a really iconic looking piece. One of the most popular Batman stories out there is The Dark Knight Returns, and it's up there with The Killing Joke. Batman Noel, you could argue, is up there as well. And I'm really hyped up for this piece.
So
Can't
they
wait.
actually have movies based on this as well.
They do, yeah.
Chris is a huge fan of this. He actually went ahead and ordered some CGCs, but we won't talk too much about that since it'll be actually kind of cool to show those when we're unboxing this.
Yeah, for sure, man. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you have this on pre-order too, right, bro?
Yes, I do.
So this is the pop culture shock He-Man and Battle Cat mixed media combo.
Funny to
Um, I,
say, I actually beat you to this one too.
yes, you did. Um, and I'm so happy that I got my hands on this, bro, for under retail. Um, and I'm really pumped up that I got this. Shout out to the guy I bought this from, some random guy on eBay, but he was really honest. He always kept in contact with me, and I'm really just really pleased that I was able to get this. It comes with an art print. What do you remember the edition size on this, bro? It was like 100, 150 maybe.
I really don't remember. I know though that you were willing to go and spend more money on this. So the
Yep.
fact that you actually went and got it below retail is actually really amazing.
Funny story, man. I had ordered. He-Man separately alone, directly through PCS, right? And I was looking for an exclusive Battle Cat, and I found one, and I was ready. I actually paid a ludicrous amount of money to get my hands on a pre-order, and like a day after. No, I don't think I paid the guy actually. We were about to close out a deal, and I was gonna pay a ludicrous amount of money. And a day later, I found this guy on eBay selling the combo for the same price I was about to buy Battle Cat for.
Yeah, but you know
So
what? I think a lot of people are facing that now.
yeah,
And even though PCS decided to end the Filmation line of Masters of the Universe, people are still chasing after Battle Cat, man. They're
absolutely, man.
still
It's
chasing after. You're like, I really feel sorry for those people that didn't get it. I don't know if you guys are gonna get one, and if you do, I think you guys are gonna be paying massive amounts of money because, let's just say, for example, we take out the mixed media He-Man out of this picture, and for all those who ordered Sideshow 1/5 scale and they decide to put like Battle Cat in there beside, oh my goodness, can you imagine
yeah,
how amazing that would look? And you
bro.
guys can only get that through PCS right now.
Yep, yep. I completely agree. And just keep in mind, guys, Battle Cat is 33 inches long. Yo, 33 inches long is the same height as the Batman Dark Knight Returns 1/3 scale statue from Prime 1.
That's actually one of the main reasons why I was kind of excited to move, because like my old home just didn't have the space to display a 33-inch, statue of Battle Cat unless like I kind of display him on the side, and for me that kind of just defeats the purpose. I would
Right.
actually like to see him from the front, kind of like on an angle, almost like how it is in the picture.
Oh, finally a statue that Omar wants to see from the front.
Oh no, you didn't. Wow. Okay, let's. I think that's our cue to move along here.
Um, yes. Okay, so this was actually my last pre-order. I actually paid in full for this guy to get $100 discount. This is the Prototype Studios quarter scale Ryu statue from Super Street Fighter. And again, this is sculpted by Eric Sosa. And I was telling Omar, we were talking almost like 10, 15 minutes about this piece. I was telling him that I really think this is going to be special, man. And I'm going to tell you why. This is sculpted again by Eric Sosa. Prototype Studios is Eric Sosa's company, right? This is his first licensed pre-painted statue in his company. So this is his first statue with his own company, and I think that's a really big deal. He's I'm very active in the forums. I've been reading a lot, in the movements that he's doing and the things that he's the precautions he's taking, you know, in making this his first piece. And you can tell that he wants to make a statement. Being that this is his first statue, he's making sure quality control is on point, taking trips to China, making sure he's going to the factories himself to check QC. He's keeping his edition sizes very low. The edition size for this Ryu is 400. Considering today's normal edition sizes, 400 is nuts. If you look at PCS, that's very similar. And the Evil Ryu to this um, only has an edition size of 150. That's as low as some custom pieces out there. And I really just feel like Eric Sosa is doing his thing. I'm really a fan of his work. I'd say like the top three sculptors, in my opinion, or at least in my tastes, would be Eric Sosa, Jerry Macaluso from PCS, because I feel like his anatomy and his body sculpts are just awesome. And also Daniel Bell, who's done a couple pieces for XM Studios like Black Panther, Electro. So those are three of my favorite artists, and Eric Sosa definitely one of the probably my favorite of all. He just has this kind of style that his muscle definitions are just really defined. There's a lot of detail. I know he likes to work with fully sculpted stuff, and I'm really pumped up for this piece, man.
So there's another cool thing about this statue is the fact that it actually comes with like a stand, so the piece that you're not displaying it with can be like a mini bus.
Yes.
So it's basically like, yes, you're paying, 600 and something dollars, but you're basically getting two pieces for the price of one.
Right, and that's another thing. It retails for 650 if you pay with like a payment plan. If you pay in full, you get $100 discount. So I paid f about 550 bucks for that one. And that piece doesn't just come with a switch out head, you guys. It comes, if you guys remember, the XM Studios new Iron Man that had came out. It's two statues in one, so you could swap out the torso, or the legs, I should say, to make it have a different pose. Same deal with this thing. It doesn't come with just a switch out head. It comes with a separate upper body torso. So one is clean, one is battle damaged, and for 550 bucks, man, with a low edition size, awesome sculpt, and knowing that the QC is going to be awesome, I don't see how you could go wrong.
And I just want to remind everybody that this is actually Chris's pre-orders. These are officially things that he has pre-ordered. He's definitely going to be getting them, and we will be unboxing them. Later on in this episode, we'll actually be discussing anticipated pieces, pieces that are on our wish list that we have not ordered, but for the time being, these are actually pre-ordered pieces.
Absolutely. And another awesome pre-order I was able to get my hands on. Thank goodness. Shout out to one of my boys. You know who you are. Real big shout out to him. Funny story actually acquiring this pre-order. Back in 2016 when the Singapore Comic Con was happening, I had messaged him and I was like, "Yo, what do you think about this piece?" And he was like, "Yo, I'll be right back, bro. I'm at the Singapore Comic Con." I was like, "Yo, no way." And at that point in time, people were just posting a bunch of pictures of, the XM booth and all the new pieces that they were releasing for pre-order. XM Venom, Cable, Electro was on display, Vulture, all those awesome statues. And he finally got back to me, and we just started talking about Cable. And he was like, "Yo, I could get you a pre-order." I said, "Yes." So big shout out to him. I was able to get this for retail. I know that the pre-orders alone today are going for obnoxious prices. So I mean, if you could pick them up for a good price, I definitely say to do it because this is going to be an awesome statue. Um, and what better way than to have the son of the new Cyclops statue I have coming in, you know? And I'm really impressed with this piece.
So I think you underestimate just how long we can talk about things. Like, we were hoping to have all of this talked about in half an hour. We're already almost going to be hitting like 40 minutes,
Wow.
and we still have so much more to cover. So what we wanted to discuss was the 12 days of sideshow. Definitely going to have to wait for another video since we've already spent so much time here and we still have more to go. So we will do that in the next video. So Chris, we will finish up just with our pre-orders anticipated, and end the video.
All right, bro, no problem. Yeah, sorry guys. It took a little bit longer than anticipated. There's just a lot to say about some of these pieces. I'm very vocal when it comes to my opinion on on things that I like. So apologies for that. But I hope you guys are enjoying. I hope you guys are still with me. Maybe you guys could relate. If we have similar pre-orders, leave that down in the comments. Let us know what you have on pre-order. Let us know how your 2016 went. But to continue, this is also another pre-order I have uh, on order. I have the XM Studios Captain America Sentinel of Liberty. I'm actually really pumped for this piece. I'm waiting to get it in hand. I don't know if I'm going to keep it yet. But I'm actually really pumped. It should be shipping out anytime now. Hopefully by February or by March, I'll have it in hand.
You had a huge impact on the salute of this statue. And you even considering selling this statue is just messed up, man. Like, the
So
fact that, I don't mean to cut you, Chris, but the fact that you basically were the one behind how this thing was posed and then you want to sell it You should get slapped, man. You should get slapped and disconnected from this video right now.
So let's give you guys a little bit of context of what you're talking about. So basically, the original XM concept or the original XM printed prototype that XM had for this Captain America, the salute was just off, guys. We might share different opinions, but in my opinion, coming from a family of military experience, having two best friends that have served in the Navy, I know what a salute is supposed to look like, and what they had before was definitely not a salute. I went ahead, I messaged XM on Facebook. I was going back and forth with them a couple times. Like, I have family in the military, in the Air Force, in the Navy, in the Army, in the Marines, and that's not how a salute is supposed to look. We're talking about Captain America, and of all the people in this world or in pop culture shock that's gonna give a proper salute, it's gonna be Cap. So I made that point to them on Facebook, and then a couple weeks later, I actually made a post on the forums about the same issue, and
So that's just telling you guys, Chris did not let up, and that's why I'm saying like he had a major impact on this.
yeah, and I included some pictures of myself on that forum, of how the salute looked originally and then how it should look. And I made like this big paragraph, explaining things. And the next reply was from Mufizul, or I forgot his name. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but the guy that sculpted this actually commented below my post, and he's like, I did my research. It's an artistic interpretation of how I thought he should look, but in all retrospect, you know what? You're right. We'll make a switch out, and they ended up, making the salute proper. And I wasn't the only one. There were a couple Buccaneers in the background. I just feel like I was the final push to get things done. But that's the story behind this piece. But I'm really hyped up to get this, man. Again, it speaks perfectly of what I look for in a statue. I think it's really iconic, the pose that Cap is in. He's saluting. He's in a really museum style pose. He's standing on this awesome like brass or bronze. Um, I don't know what that is.
The
It's like
amount that you had of say in this statue, I'm surprised they didn't like put a swap out head of your head on this statue.
a Puerto Rican Captain America. I'm with it. I'm with it. Oh yes. So another piece that I have on pre-order, I actually just acquired this about a month ago. Um, Big shout out to Mr. Green. You know who you are, dude. Thank you. I actually got this for a great price considering what they're going for now. Um, I think this is going to be an awesome piece. Initially, I was going to wait for Prime One to release theirs because, um, I wanted to kind of weigh out my options. But the more and more that I looked at this, and with XM fixing the pose, I jumped on it immediately. And I'm really digging that McFarlane head, man. It comes with three swap out heads. You got the classic crazy tongue, which you see in the first large picture. You got the McFarlane head on the right, and then you also have this Eddie Brock transformation head sculpt, where it's like the symbiote is kind of taking over his body, and it looks awesome. And what XM did with the pose is they put Venom in a more upright position because originally he was in a more dynamic coming at you pose. He was kind of leaned forward a little bit more. You couldn't really see the full grasp of his chest. You could kind of really only see like the top of his head, the way that XM had positioned him at first. And they kind of revised that. I'm pretty sure that you're going to be able to display him either way. So they just added a new display option. But I think that was the best way to do it because now he's more upright. You could see his chest. You could see his entire face. You could see his arms coming at you. And I think that XM did a terrific job with this. I cannot wait for this statue.
Okay, just the fact that Chris has been blabbing and blabbing and blabbing for so long, like giving like the history, the detail, the weight, the grams, every single
Oh my god.
intricate thing about these statues. I think we're gonna make this a two-part episode. We're gonna cut it off right here, but we will continue it. I just want to have respect for the people that maybe just don't have the time to watch all of this all at once and would kind of like a part two. And also just the fact of like uploading it to YouTube and all that stuff. I don't want it to take too long either. So we're gonna cut it off right here.
Are we done with my pre-orders?
We are done with your pre-orders.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So we could just continue this second segment with your pre-orders, and then we'll get into 12 Days of Sideshow.
Yes. Okay. So thank you guys so much for watching this part one of pre-orders and most anticipated statues. So please check out part two, which we're going to be recording right after this. Thanks.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for watching. And if you do not check out part two, make sure on this video you let us know what you have on pre-order, what you got in 2016. All the stuff I was saying about the statues in this video. Let me know your thoughts. If you disagree, if you agree with me, let us know. And thanks for watching. Thanks,
Yeah.
Omar, for sharing this with
No
them.
problem, man. And if we don't get that part two right away, just know that Chris fell asleep again. Bye.